Today I'm going to be rebuilding the new look Cleveland Cavaliers after they acquired DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline. In my opinion, this trade for DeAndre Hunter is a championship move, and this trade by itself just made the Cleveland Cavaliers even better than they already were. At the time of this recording, the Cleveland Cavaliers have a win-loss record of 46 wins and only 10 losses. They've been having a phenomenal first half of this season. They are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I'll show you guys what our rotation is going to be looking like for the second half of this season. So our starting 5 is going to be Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and now the newly acquired DeAndre Hunter at the small forward position. And then we have Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. Off the bench, we're going to have Ty Jerome, Max Strus, Isaac Okoro, and Dean Wade. As you guys can see, we don't really have a backup center, so we may need to go out there and sign a backup center in free agency. Well, right now, not in free agency, because there's still a few free agents that are centers, like James Wiseman, Mo Bamba, Christian Wood. We can possibly go sign one of these players here, which I'm probably going to be doing. That way we have ourselves a backup center. And now we're here trying to get ourselves a backup center that's a free agent at the moment. James Wiseman, I'm not sure if we'll be able to sign him. He wants $11 million and we can only give him around $5 million. His interest is almost there, but I don't think it's going to be enough and he declines. I'm not sure if we drop a few players and waive a few players, we would have enough salary to get James Wiseman, but let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going to waive Tristan Thompson. We're going to release him to free agency since he's not going to be a part of our rotation anyways. I'm not sure if that frees up our cap space at all or not, but let's see. And it doesn't, so we still have $5.17 million that we can spend, which means we're not going to be getting James Wiseman. But we can get Mo Bamba or Christian Wood, and I think we're going to settle for Mo Bamba. He's a pretty good defender, good rebounder, can space the floor a little bit, so let's go ahead and give Mo Bamba the minimum contract for 1 year. And now we got ourselves a backup center in Mo Bamba. For now, what I decided to do is take away Dean Wade's minutes and give those to Mo Bamba. Of course, if Mo Bamba is not playing good, we'll switch those minutes back and give them to Dean Wade. But as of right now, this is what our rotation is going to be looking like. And let's see how game number 1 goes against the Memphis Grizzlies. And we do end up winning by 6 points. Donovan Mitchell had 27 points, 23 from Garland, 17 from Mobley, 15 and 13 from Jarrett Allen. DeAndre Hunter had 11 points. I love the addition of DeAndre Hunter on this team. This team needed a small forward that had size. He's 6'8". He's a really good defender, which they needed. And on top of all that, he's an amazing 3-point shooter. So he's a 3-and-D small forward. That's exactly what the Cleveland Cavaliers needed. In my opinion, this team is definitely championship contenders. I see them winning a championship in the next few seasons. Hopefully we can do that this season for this video. Now I'm going to be simulating until the end of this season, and I'll be seeing y'all in the playoffs. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, please make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more NBA 2K rebuilds. That supports out my channel a ton. Now we're at the end of season number 1, where Nikola Jokic wins MVP, averaging a 28-point triple-double. Alexander Sarr wins Rookie of the Year with the Washington Wizards. Naz Reid wins 6th Player of the Year. Wemby wins Defensive Player of the Year. That really sucks that Wemby got injured for the rest of the season. He won't be playing. I believe he got a blood clot in his right shoulder, which is pretty scary. So hopefully Wemby gets well soon. Amen Thompson wins Most Improved Player. Trae Young wins Clutch Player of the Year. Kenny Atkinson, aka our head coach, wins Coach of the Year. Let's go. And we also win Executive of the Year. That's what I'm talking about. We won 61 games and lost only 21. So for the second half of the season, we lost 11 games, which was a little more than the first half of the season, but that is all right. Let's see if we get any All-NBA selections, and we do not. We should have Evan Mobley here. We do get Evan Mobley on all defensive second team, which is pretty cool, and that's it for awards. And we were the number 1 seed. Towards the second half of the season, we started losing a bunch of games, but luckily In the last week or two, we went on a pretty good run, winning a bunch of those games. Now in round number 1, we're going to be taking on the Milwaukee Bucks, who ended up as the 7th seed. They have Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., Giannis, Taurean Prince, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Kyle Kuzma. Pretty good team, but I think we should be able to take them. Let me show you guys our player stats before we jump into the playoffs. So our leading scorer was Donovan Mitchell, putting up 23 points per game, shooting 40%, almost 40% from the 3-point line. Darius Garland, 21 points per game, 7 assists. Basically 20 points per game from Evan Mobley, 16 from DeAndre Hunter, who played absolutely amazing for our team, 14 and 11 from Jarrett Allen, 11.5 from Ty Jerome. And I totally forgot to mention Ty Jerome. He's been an amazing player for this team. The last few seasons, he hasn't really been given the opportunity, but this season, he's been showing off his skills and he's absolutely amazing. He shot the ball 50, 40, 80, almost 50, 40, 90 to be exact. Max Strus, I'm not really a fan of. We're probably going to be trading him away this off season. He's not really shooting the ball all that well this season. And yeah, we're going to be trading him away this off season. Now let me fix up our player minutes and then we'll get right into the playoffs. I did fix up our player minutes. What I'm planning on doing for the next season is hiring Evan Mobley's shot tendency. That way he becomes our second option behind Donovan Mitchell. And I want Darius Garland to be more of a playmaker for our team, as well as score obviously, but I want him to be the main ball handler who's doing all the playmaking for our team. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next season. But let's see how things go here. Game number 1 against the Bucks is a loss for us. Hunter had 23, but we still fell short. Game number 2 is a win for us. We tie up the series. Mitchell had 33 points, 26-point double-double from Garland. And that's exactly what I mean. I want him to having a bunch of assists, being the main playmaker for our team. As you guys can see, he had 16 assists. Jarrett Allen had 24 points, 17 from Mobley, and 15 from Hunter. Our starting 5 is absolutely amazing. Game number 3 is also a win. Game 4 puts us up 3-1, and we gentlemen sweep the Milwaukee Bucks. Donovan Mitchell had 35 points, 29 from Mobley, 28 and 12 from Jarrett Allen. Garland had a double-double. He didn't shoot the ball all that much, but again, his playmaking was amazing, and he's averaging a 21-point double-double here in the playoffs. We're in round number 2 where we'll be taking on the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Haliburton, Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin, Pascal Siakam, and Miles Turner off the bench. TJ McConnell, Obi, Aaron, and Jarris Walker. Let's see how our starting 5 is doing so far. So Garland is playing absolutely amazing. Donovan Mitchell is averaging 31 points per game. Hunter is struggling offensively, but he's still averaging 14 points per game. Mobley is averaging 17 and 12. Jarrett Allen's averaging 20 points per game. Jarrett Allen is going off in the playoffs so far. Let's go. Let's see how things go here against the Indiana Pacers. Game number 1 is a loss for us. Okay. So TJ McConnell was the leading scorer off the bench for the Pacers in that game. Game number 2 is a win for us. Mobley had a 30-point triple-double. 30, 17, 10, as well as 4 blocks and 1 steal. That's what I'm talking about. Game number 3 is a win for us, which means we're up 2-1. Garland had 30 and 9. Mitchell had 23 points that game. Allen had 22. And Mobley had 21. Hunter still continues to struggle. Hopefully he can pick it up a little bit. His efficiency has gotten a bit better than the last round, which is good for us. Game number 4 is a loss, and they tie up the series just like that. Mitchell had 26, 23 from Jarrett Allen, but we still fell short. Garland has been playing really good. Let's see, hopefully we can win game number 5 to put us up 3-2, and we lose. I'm going to come up with a defensive coach game plan. Perhaps I should have done that before simulating game number 5. Alright, I came up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see if we could tie up the series in game number 6. We do not have home court advantage in this game, but hopefully we can still go out there and get this win. And we are down by 7 points, 3 remaining, and we're eliminated in the second round. We literally lost by 1 point. Hunter had 25 points. Garland had 20-point double-double from Mobley. 20-point double-double from Allen. Mitchell absolutely was horrible in that game, shooting 3 of 13. So the 4 seed defeats us. We were the number 1 seed, but it is what it is. Let's see who goes on to win a championship. And it's the OKC Thunder versus the New York Knicks, and the OKC Thunder go on to win themselves a championship with SGA winning Finals MVP. I'm going to overturn a few of these retirements, and then I'll see you guys either at the NBA draft or at free agency. So for the 2025 NBA draft, we had 2 second-round picks, and I went ahead and selected Kanan Catchings and Brendan Garrison. I doubt they're going to be a part of our rotation, but we could possibly use them in a trade and trade them away for some first-round picks. Team player option, there's no one here that we have to accept or decline, and there's no one in qualifying offers. Is there anyone we need to bring back in free agency? No, not really. So we basically have all of our players on contracts, which is really nice. But I am going to be trading a few players away, like Max Strus. We don't really need him on our team. It was not really a good player for us last season, so we're probably going to be moving on from him, possibly trading him away for a new backup center. And yeah, I'll show you guys what that trade is going to be like. Someone that I totally forgot about was Ty Jerome. He's a free agent and we don't even have bird rights on him for some reason, which means we're not going to be able to bring him back on our team to be our backup point guard. As you guys can see, the most money we can give him is $4.5 million. And I'm surprised why we don't have bird rights on him, because I'm pretty sure we should have bird rights to bring him back on our team, but clearly that's not the case here in 2K25. So we're going to have to go out there and get ourselves a different backup point guard. I think Malcolm Brogdon would be perfect, Spencer Dinwiddie. There's a few good options here, so I'll show you guys who we're going to be selecting as our backup point guard. We're going to be signing Malcolm Brogdon on a 2-year, $10 million contract to be our backup point guard for the future, and we're also going to be signing Steven Adams on a 1-year minimum contract. That way he could possibly be our backup center if we're not able to get a different center. So for now, that's going to be all the signings I believe in free agency. We may also sign, where did he go? Jalen Williams. If we're able to, okay, wait, never mind. Now he wants $8.5 million. Before he wanted $2 million. So clearly we're not going to be able to sign him. So that's it for free agency signings. Now I'm going to be pulling off a trade, possibly trading away Max Strus. We have the perfect trade for a new backup center, and that's going to be Robert Williams III from the Portland Trail Blazers, where we send them Max Strus and a 2nd round pick. There was pretty crazy offers. We can also get Mitchell Robinson. As you guys can see, we can also get Kyle Kuzma, but we don't really need Kyle Kuzma on our team, so we're going to be trading away Max Strus and a 2nd round pick for Robert Williams III from the Portland Trail Blazers to be our new backup center. I'm also going to be trading away Brendan Garrison, who we selected in the 2nd round of the 2025 NBA draft, for a 1st round pick from the Detroit Pistons. Now that's it for this off season. I'll be seeing you guys at the start of season number 2. Here we are at the start of season number 2, and this is going to be our 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we're going to have Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. And then off the bench, we're going to have Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams III, Jalen Tyson, who's now up to 78 overall, and Isaac Okoro. In my opinion, something we have this season which we didn't have last season was a consistent scorer off the bench. Now Malcolm Brogdon can come off our bench, average around 10 to 15 points per game, which we didn't really have last season, which we have now. So Malcolm Brogdon will hopefully be that perfect 6-man that we needed the past season. Let's see how game number 1 goes against the New York Knicks. It is a loss for us by a lot, which is pretty insane. But of course, chemistry still needs to be built with our new rotation, and then hopefully we'll start winning some games. And game number 2 is a win. We beat the Houston Rockets by 3 points. Garland had 24 and 10, 24 from Donovan Mitchell, 18 from Mobley. And this season, Evan Mobley does have a higher shot tendency than Darius Garland, which means he'll probably be taking more shots than Darius Garland. And now I'm going to be simulating until the end of this season, but of course, if there's trades to be made, I'll stop at the trade deadline to show y'all. So I'm stopped here at the trade deadline, and so far we have a win-loss record of 32 wins and 19 losses. We are the number 3 seed. And to be honest, if we keep running with the same exact rotation, we're definitely not going to be winning a championship this season. We're going to be trading away DeAndre Hunter. I'll show you guys why here in a second. As you guys can see, this section is estimated wins added from each player. And all of our players playing are in a positive estimated wins added. Except for one player, and that is DeAndre Hunter. As you guys can see, he's the only player on our team giving us a negative impact, which means we're going to be trading him away for a different small forward, and I already have a trade in mind, and that's going to be for Jalen Johnson. You guys heard that right, the Atlanta Hawks are down to send us Jalen Johnson for DeAndre Hunter and a first round pick. Obviously, this trade would not happen in real life, but that's what makes 2K so fun. We're going to be pulling this trade off, sending Hunter back to the Atlanta Hawks, where we acquire ourselves Jalen Johnson. I believe he's averaging like a 22-point double-double. Let's double check that. He's averaging, not a 22 point, sorry, a 15-point double-double. And yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He's also shooting really good efficiency. I'm going to move his position to small forward, and then this is going to be our new starting lineup. So Jalen Johnson is already a 87 overall, and when we move his position to small forward, he goes up to a 89 overall, which is insane. Basically a 90 overall player in our starting lineup. And that would basically mean our whole starting 5 is almost 90 overall or higher. This would be the most unstoppable starting 5 in the NBA ever since the Golden State Warriors when they acquired Kevin Durant. This is going to be our starting lineup this is going to be our 9-man lineup for the second half of this season. Our starting lineup is going to be Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Johnson at that small forward position, and then we have Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. Off the bench, we're going to have Robert Williams III, Malcolm Brogdon, Jalen Tyson, and Isaac Okoro. I'm excited to see how things go, and I'm pretty sure we should be championship contenders. I'll be simulating until the end of this season, and I'll see y'all in the playoffs. We're going to be giving Robert Williams III a 2-year extension worth around $20 million, which he does accept. Donovan Mitchell also wants an extension, but we already have him for the next 2 to 3 years, so we'll hold out on that until we need to give him one. And ever since getting Jalen Johnson, we have not lost a single game. So clearly that trade made our team a lot better than it already was. And we're already the number 1 seed after acquiring Jalen Johnson. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama wins MVP, Cooper Flagg wins Rookie of the Year with the Toronto Raptors, Tyler Hero wins 6th Player of the Year. For some reason, the Miami Heat have Tyler Hero coming off the bench, which is pretty insane because that would not happen in real life anymore. He used to be the 6th man for the Heat, but for sure after this past season, they wouldn't have him coming off the bench. And then Wemby also wins Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved Player goes to Dalton Knecht, averaging 14 points per game. That's insane. Devin Booker 30 points per game, Clutch Player of the Year. Greg Popovich wins Coach of the Year, and we win Executive of the Year, winning 59 games and losing only 23. Let's see if we get any All-NBA selections, and we do get Evan Mobley on All-NBA 3rd team, but neither of our guards made it here. We also get Evan Mobley on All-Defensive 1st team, All-NBA 3rd team, and All-Defensive 1st team, which is pretty nice to see. And of course, we were the number 1 seed in round number 1. We're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Let me show you guys our player stats before we get into the playoffs. So our leading scorer was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 25 points per game on amazing efficiency. Right behind him, we have Darius Garland, 21.5 points, as well as basically 10 assists per game. So he was almost averaging a double-double. Then Evan Mobley was averaging a 20-point double-double, 20 points per game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, as well as 2 blocks and 1.5 steal. 14 points per game from Jalen Johnson, as well as 9 rebounds and 4 assists on pretty good efficiency. Jarrett Allen, 12 points per game, 11.5 from Malcolm Brogdon. As I said, we needed a good 6-man that can score around 10 to 15 points per game, and Malcolm Brogdon was that perfect 6-man to have all coming off of our bench. And then here's the rest of the guys. Now let me fix up our player minutes and then we'll get right into the playoffs. I fixed up our player minutes, and again we're going to be taking on the Atlanta Hawks for round number 1, and it looks like they no longer have Trae Young on their team, so they may have traded him away, it looks like, for Pascal Siakam possibly. Their starting lineup is going to be Kobe Buffkin, Dyson Daniels, Zachary Ricochet, and they acquired Pascal Siakam. They also have a Okongwu who's up to 85 overall. They obviously have DeAndre Hunter, who we traded away, Aaron Nesmith, I don't know how to pronounce that name, and George Niang. Let's see if they traded Trae Young to the Indiana Pacers, and they did. And Trae Young is coming off the bench as a 6-man. That is insane. You have a 90 overall player who's averaging almost a double-double coming off your bench. This would be a pretty bad trade for the Pacers because Halliburton is already a double-double guy. Why would you need 2 insanely good playmakers on one team? But let's see how things go here. Game number 1 is a win for us. Mitchell with 36 points, 19 from Allen, and 17 from Mobley. Also a double-double from Jalen Johnson. And as you guys can see, I wanted Darius Garland to be our main playmaker, so I gave him the most amount of shot tendency touches. That way he handles the ball more than any other players. In this game, he didn't score as much, but he still had 17 assists, which helped out our team a ton. Let's see how game number 2 goes. And game 2 is also a win for us. Mitchell had 37 points, 24 from Mobley, 12 and 11 from Jalen Johnson. Game number 3, we do end up losing to the Hawks, but we do win game 4 and 5, and we gentlemen sweep the Atlanta Hawks. Garland had 42 points and 12 rebounds, 29 and 17 from Mitchell. That may be a career high in assists for Donovan Mitchell. 18 from Allen, 17 from Mobley. Jalen Johnson has been playing good. He's not scoring the most amount of points, but he's still playing good all around. Good defense and good offense. Now we're in the second round where we take on the Detroit Pistons. Cade, Jaden Thompson, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. And they got Drew Holiday coming off their bench, Sasser, Karis LeVert, and Klay Thompson. That's a pretty weird team. A really weird team. They have Klay and Drew Holiday coming off their bench. Yeah, that's a pretty weird team. I think we should be able to beat them, but let's see how things go. Game number 1 is a win for us. Mitchell drops 31 points in that game. Johnson had 26, 15, and 9. Game number 2 is also a win for us. And game 3, we do end up losing. Ivy had 39 points, 30 from Mobley, but we still ended up falling short. Game number 4 is also a loss for us, and they tie up the series. Now, this is where we need to come up with a defensive coach game plan. Mitchell had 43 points, but we still fell short. Before we advance to game 5, I'm going to be coming up with the defensive coach game plan. We're basically going to be running a 8-man rotation. Jalen Tyson has been playing pretty horrible. Isaac Okoro has also been playing pretty horrible, but Isaac Okoro is a better defender, so we're going to be giving him 12 minutes and only 3 minutes to Jalen Tyson. So it's basically a 8-man rotation. Alright, I came up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see how things go here in game number 5, and we do end up winning game 5. Mitchell had 31 points, 27 from Mobley, 23 from Allen, and 22 from Darius Garland. Let's see how the player minutes were. So yeah, Jalen Tyson only played 3 minutes, and he made a 3-pointer as well as 2 rebounds and 2 assists. So in 3 minutes, he played really well. Let's see if we can beat the Pistons here in game number 6, which we do. Let's go. Mitchell had 34 points, a 19 double-double from Garland, a 19-point double-double from Mobley as well. 18 from Robert Williams and 15 from Malcolm Brogdon. Jalen Johnson was amazing. He had a double-double, but 13 rebounds and 12 assists, 7 points. So he had a double-double without having double-digit points, which is pretty insane. And now we're in the conference finals where we're going to be taking on the New York Knicks, the number 3rd seed. Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell, Miles McBride, Jonathan Mogbo, Josh Okogie. So this team is pretty stacked. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 is a win for us. Mitchell drops 28 points, 25 and 14 from Evan Mobley. Malcolm Brogdon has been playing good off of our bench. His efficiency has dropped since the regular season, but hopefully he can pick that up a notch. Game number 2 is also a win for us. Garland with 27, Mobley with 24. Game 3 puts us up 3-0. Brunson had 53 points, but that was not enough for our team. Garland had 32 and 32 also from Mobley. 19 from Allen. Mitchell struggled offensively, but the rest of the team picked it up and we still got that win. Are we going to be sweeping the Knicks? And we sweep the Knicks just like that. Garland had 26 and 10. Mitchell had 26. A double-double from Mobley, 14 from Malcolm Brogdon. And we're in the NBA Finals where we're going to be taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Jokic wins Western Conference Finals MVP and Mobley wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging 25, 14, and 5, as well as 3 blocks, which is pretty impressive. Let's see what their team is looking like. So they got themselves Chris Paul. They no longer have Russell Westbrook, but they still have the vet CP3 coming into their starting lineup. And then they have Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, MPJ, Jokic off the bench, Aaron Gordon. Oh, they still have Russell Westbrook on their team as well. I'm not sure how they were able to keep him. They got it. Oh my god, they are paying Russell Westbrook $26 million a year, then $28 million and $30 million for a 37-year-old Russell Westbrook. That is insane. They overpaid him, but it is what it is. They're the number 5 seed. Let's see how things go. Game number 1 is a win for us. Mitchell drops 51 points. Jalen Johnson had 17 and 14. Game number 2 is a loss for us. Mobley had 45 points and 8 made threes, which is, I'm pretty sure, a career high for Mobley. But Jokic and Westbrook went off and made us lose that game. Game number 3 is a win for us though. Let's go. Jokic had a triple-double, but Mobley had 36 points and we end up winning. Mitchell had 33, 23 from Darius Garland. Game number 4 puts us up 3-1 against the Denver Nuggets. Garland had 26, 24 from Mitchell, 23 and 16 from Evan Mobley, as well as 5 steals and 2 blocks. His defense this playoff run has been amazing. 2.5 blocks and then 1.5 steal per game on amazing offense as well. Been playing really good for our team. And are we going to be gentlemen sweeping the Denver Nuggets? We do not gentlemen sweep them. We end up falling short in this game, but hopefully we can beat them here in 6. And we do. And just like that, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the 2026 NBA champions, with Evan Mobley winning Finals MVP, averaging 27, 11, and 4, as well as 2 steals and 2 blocks. That was an amazing playoff run from our team. Let me show you guys our player stats for the playoffs. So our leading scorer was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28 points per game, shooting 50, 40, 87. And then we had Evan Mobley as our second leading scorer, averaging 24 points per game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 blocks, 1.5 steal on really good efficiency. Garland was averaging 21 points per game, 11 assists, shooting 50, 40, 87. 12 points from Jarrett Allen, 12 points from Jalen Johnson, as well as 10 rebounds and 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Malcolm Brogdon off our bench, averaging 10 points per game, 3.5 assists, and then the rest of the team. Robert Williams was also a really good, underrated get for our team. Amazing rebounder, amazing defense off our bench as our backup center. And now let me show you guys the stats for the NBA Finals. So the leading scorer in the NBA Finals was Donovan Mitchell, averaging 28 points per game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals on really good efficiency. Then we had Evan Mobley averaging 27, 11, and 4, 2 steals and 2 blocks. 20 points from Darius Garland, 11 assists on amazing efficiency. Jalen Johnson, 12, 11, and 5. 10 and a half from Jarrett Allen, 9 from Malcolm Brogdon, and then the rest of the team. So that's it for this video. We ended up completing the goal, which was winning the Cleveland Cavaliers a championship, and we did just that. I know it was a short rebuild. The next video I'll make sure to have it around 3 to 4 seasons long, but we ended up finishing our goal pretty quick in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below what video I should upload next. Again, make sure to drop a thumbs up and subscribe. That supports out my channel a ton. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.